I should speak first, please. I'll play it a little bit. TEDxXLRI. It's absolutely a pleasure. I guess we're all speaking about soaring high, scaling new heights. And so for those of you who know me, you know me as a flautist, singer, musician. And for those of you who don't know me, hello, my name is Rasika Shekar. I am a flautist, singer, and musician. And maybe you might have seen this video recently that's gone viral. It's a Jugalbandi video with me performing with Shankar-Ehsaan-Loy. Oh, you have? Okay, great. And it's really crazy because it's gone to millions of viewers all over the world. And they call me the flute girl, so that's me. So anyways, I grew up learning Carnatic classical music. I predominantly performed Carnatic classical music, and I listened to a lot of Carnatic classical music. And then small curiosities here and there had me branch out to other forms of music, and I started learning, and I, by myself, I was reading and observing and listening and all that. And then the same curiosities had me come to India and explore more. Well, I landed my playback singing debut with Shankar-Ehsaan-Loy, and then I played a lot of flute for different projects, including MTV Post and all that. So it's been a beautiful journey, and I perform both as a singer and as a flautist. And I can tell you, it's amazing to be in front of an audience and perform because the connection is magical. Right? So it's been a beautiful journey, but I want to share with you guys a very different side of this journey, and kind of maybe you might relate to this a little bit. So when I was in high school and beginning of college as well, I was the most introverted, reserved, shy, quiet person you would have ever met, right? And for me to approach 2 or 3 people and initiate a conversation was impossible. Like, I would find the funniest excuses to not do so. Let's say, for example, we were going on a trip, and my dad would be like, "There are 2 security guards. Go ask them for directions." And I would find the stupidest excuses. I would make my brother do it. I just couldn't approach people, initiate a conversation, even ask a question. I was so shy. I was so quiet. And then in high school, I saw this speaker come, and he was addressing a crowd of 1,000 people, right? And I was like, what? Why is he so comfortable out there? And what is it that I'm lacking with? That was the start. That was the first step. I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. And when I went to college, I looked for ways to become better at this. I came across a bunch of people, like 3 students who were trying to establish a platform to help students come and practice public speaking. And so they asked me to come on board and meet and everything, and I was like, for me to even talk to 2 people was a big deal. Like, I'm not going to go into some meeting and sit and but somehow I pushed myself and I said, I have to get out. out of my comfort zone, I have to do this. So I went for the first 2 or 3 meetings and sat in the corner. Just observed. I'm sure they thought it was weird. It's okay. But over a period of time, I started engaging in these conversations. And I was providing insights. I was giving them my opinion. And then we established the organization, right? And after a year, I became president of that organization. Something like leadership role, what I thought was impossible, suddenly became like quite okay to do. So what am I really getting at? I mean, the thing is, you start off with something, but then you kind of gain these like small skills throughout the process that you don't realize. And when I started off thinking, okay, I might get public speaking skills, I was gaining leadership skills, administrative skills, marketing, PR, all these kind of things. And it's very cool because something that I thought I would never be able to do was happening. Right? So the important thing to realize is that we all have dreams, we have goals, things that keep changing or evolving. But what kind of approaches can we take towards getting closer to those? I was speaking to a friend of mine recently, and we were discussing this. One thing I've realized is that, and something that's helped me personally, is that if we approach our journey by taking this approach of knowledge gaining and skill building, it becomes much easier. We become closer to that, and it doesn't seem so far away then. So it might start off as a very small step, but what happens is when we take those steps, we are turning these small fears and hesitation into something that's more familiar for us. And the more steps that we take that way, that familiarity becomes confidence. And then all of a sudden, we've opened up this entire area of awareness of certain capabilities that we perhaps didn't see, or we probably didn't realize we had. Right? And that opens up a lot of things for us. It opens up our minds, our taste, our perspectives. So, I mean, why am I saying this as a musician? I realized when I started off taking music very seriously and I started performing, all of a sudden, all these things just clicked into my performance. Something that started off as a public speaking idea applied to performance as well. There's a lot of parallel things you can find. Things such as body language, posture, eye contact. All these things kind of apply to performance. And all of a sudden I was feeling very comfortable doing that. And the same goes with the way I kind of looked at music as well. When I started off my career, I went on a tour with Ustad Ghulam Ali Khan as a vocalist, the Ghazal maestro. And at that point of time, I didn't have any training in Ghazals. None of my family members were into Ghazals or anything, but it was just that curiosity that led me to read more and observe more and like keep asking questions, and that curiosity just wouldn't let me go. And so, as I did that, and when this opportunity kind of came by, I was kind of prepared for it. And it's not only applicable to music, I'm sure it's applicable to a lot of things, a lot of career paths, professions. Another funny thing is that my first job was actually at Starbucks. I was barista at Starbucks, I was making coffee. This was a part-time job that kind of helped me for books and education. And I can tell you it's a very difficult job being behind a counter at Starbucks. Because you find the most grumpiest customers, and you also find the most chirpiest customers. There are customers that will line up at 8 in the morning sharp, and if they don't get their coffee, well, the first person they're going to take their anger up is you. So I used to see all this, and it was really funny. I couldn't handle it in the beginning, but then what you essentially are getting is sales experience, customer satisfaction, and thinking on the job. And these are small things that you just kind of grasp onto, which you don't realize at that point why it's important, but towards a later stage, it applies somewhere. It just clicks, it just connects. And so the idea is to kind of be open towards experiences that you might have every day. How many of you are into photography? A lot of people. Just kidding. So for those of you who did raise your hands, the next time you see a photography exhibition or a photography workshop, take a trip. You just might enjoy it. You never know, right? So it's just about being a little open to these experiences that might just open up your mind and in case you're listening. As a musician, what it's really helped me do is enjoy music in a very different way today. 4 years back, 5 years back, the way I looked at music is very different. Now the way I enjoy music is very different. And what's helped me is just to be open towards other forms of music. How many of you enjoy Bollywood here? Come on, everyone has to raise their hands. How many of you enjoy Turkish music? So, whenever you get a chance, check out some Turkish music. You might like it, or you might not. But it might let you think of something else. So the idea is to be very open towards experiences or anything that comes by. Try getting a sales job. Try volunteering as a senior citizen. Do something that's out of your comfort zone. Get out there. Just try new things because you never know what will inspire you, what direction it might help you get into. If you're, I used to do a little bit of IT work also, which is kind of interesting. But it's interesting because the amount of skills that I got out of that with dealing with people, interviewing people, it kind of helps in your profession today. You don't realize it at that point in time because you don't have the vision at that point in time. But then when it actually clicks, you'll be like, wow, that was pretty great. That's what it applies to, a lot of other things. Anyway, so that's what I want to get at. And in conclusion, when we kind of open up our steps and we're taking small steps towards these, we're getting closer and closer and we're becoming familiar to the next step. And so maybe what we thought was impossible is just the next step. Right? And it seems as easy at that point of time. So it's about just these incremental skill building exploration that really helps. At least in my experience, it has. I'm very sure it will be the same. I'm going to play some music for you and songs. I don't know, I want to make something